Welcome back to Metropol TV, the first 24-hour business news channel here in Kenya and in East Africa. It's a pleasure to have you back, and I know it's a Friday evening, so I know everyone wants to get out, but I've got a great guest here, and he's James Mwangi. James, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much.
James, you're running this harvest terminal business,
Yes.
which is going to be tied in with the television. Tell us a little bit about what you've got in your black box, which is going to give us all an edge when it comes to trading and extracting the right information to make better decisions.
First, I would first talk about what the harvest is.
Yes.
We vision ourselves to provide data, market data, insights, reports, actually sector reports, company reports, industry reports about the Kenyan market and Africa's also the African countries. Then that's the data that now we feed to TV now to make their scripts, their content, to have shows like Smart Investor.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you. So it's a pleasure. So what is in our black box basically is you find the competitors or people who we are now trying to compete with right now have always put Africa as a country.
This is this meme, isn't it? Africa is not a country.
Exactly.
Somewhere in Africa. Well,
yeah. So it's coming. Hey, I live in Kenya. Hey, do you know somebody in Zambia? You see, they always classify Africa as a country. What you are coming as a harvest, you're telling people is that we classify Africa is the next place to come. Is the next investment market. We tell you particularly Kenya. So we have gone. What we've done is that we have classified Kenya into sectors. Gone deeper and classified it into industries, gone deeper, we classified it to sub-industries. Then from there on now, we also find the companies that are under that. So we look at the performance from how the industry came up, to its evolution, to where it is right now, does it have a going concern, how is it performing, the insights. So our value proposition is the depth of research to do,
the
and then the granular, exactly. We're going deep down. Because most of these competitors do rely on listed companies, their data. Kenya, if you look at the number of listed companies in Kenya as compared to the number of companies that are in Kenya.
Yes, tell me, yes.
We only have 64 listed companies.
Yes.
Against 300,000.
Wow, that's an interesting point.
So if you're giving me data, you're giving me insights in regards to these 64, don't you think that's not the full picture of what Kenya is?
Of course.
So that's where now Harvest comes in and says, we will give you the data and in-depth analysis about the true picture of Kenya.
Wow.
So that's I would say is our value proposition.
So, when I first started trading,
Yes.
I had this very charismatic, mercurial boss, and he was a big risk taker, and he'd always tell me, Ali Khan, tell me something I don't know.
Yes.
What is your edge?
Yes.
This is the nirvana for investors, right? It's the edge.
Yes.
Having information that others don't.
Exactly.
Having something that you can use and that other people. And now you're very sophisticated satellites looking at GDP from electricity. Are you going to be giving me an edge?
Yes, I would say the in-depth insight, the in-depth analysis, the alerts that are coming just right to your phone, telling you what's happening, even deep down to the lower markets in Kenya. That's what I would say is our edge. Our edge is the insights, the in-depth research that we're doing is something that we'll say is our competitive edge based on our competitors and what they're doing precisely here in Kenya. I would say it's something interesting. I would say people to join us, subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe.
I hope I'm going to be testing it soon.
Of course. In the coming few weeks, you will be seeing something about the harvest. I would say something very interesting, something that has not been done, and join the caravan. I would tell everyone to also join the caravan.
Fantastic. Now, let me ask you another question. For the majority of us that look at the markets, the options are Reuters, Bloomberg. These are not cheap.
Yes.
And, you're talking over $1,000 a month. Where is your price point in the scheme of that?
So what we did was our competitor, the Reuters and Bloomberg, have a one-off fee. So you come and pay the $1,000 or the $2,000 a month, and then you get a wide spectrum of many things. So we find our own analysis came to find out that most people don't use up to even 30% of those systems. So you'll find you're only using something so small, but you're being charged a lump sum fee. So what we did as a harvest was we put everything unit-based subscription. So you pay what you're going to use. So if you want a report, if you want, for example, a sector report in regards to the finance and the finance sector, sorry, you'll come and just buy that sector report. If you want to use data, maybe for example NSE data, and play around with some tools to see which stock price is the best to buy, you'll be charged for that only, for that time, for
so
only
you're
that.
giving granular pricing.
Exactly.
Granular pricing, granular information.
Yes. So that's also our competitive edge, because you're telling somebody you don't have to spend all this amount of money. So you're even targeting to the ordinary mwananchi. You're telling them you can come, because an alert, we're even charging just as little as 5 shillings just to get an alert on your phone telling you how something is happening, how certain companies are performing. You can get that just as little as 5 shillings. So you're telling even the ordinary mwananchi.
So that's interesting.
Can
you're
come
going
to
for you're kind of talking to me the way Michael Joseph used to tell me years ago when he launched M-Pesa. You know, the idea that there's a lot of nickel and dimes you can collect.
You can collect. Yes.
And if you make it attractive enough, your market is infinite.
True.
Yeah.
If you target economies of scale, then at least you're okay. Because now we say, you see, the competitors have targeted the cream.
Yes, yes.
But there are a lot of people here who may want to make an investment decision.
Of course.
But they don't have the means to do that.
And we live in an information age now.
It's true. So we tell even to that, the ordinary mwananchi, you can find a product that you can use in a harvest.
James, let me ask you another question. I remember when I came back home to Mombasa 13 years ago, the internet was so slow, I had to build a 170-foot tower.
Wow.
To get, I can't remember the 32K. It was that pathetic. And today here, you know, you have whatever, it's faster.
It's bandwidth now, you're talking.
It's amazing.
Yes.
And, you know, I saw the story with Safaricom. If you look at data consumption, it's gone through the roof, you know, and they brought prices lower so you can see. And then I read another report saying Kenyans in particular have a huge appetite for data. We love news. You know, if you drive around early in the morning and the news seller, you'll see 50 people standing around. So, I mean, what does that tell me is our people want information.
Very much. And the fact that if you actually go around Africa in some countries, you'll find that internet is not so strong. No. But Kenya right now, we have actually really done so well, because we are now competing of how many Mbps do you have? How many? We already have internet, so it's just competing of how fast can I access information faster than you. So what even as you've done, as the harvest you've done, is we are now even having a mobile app coming up. Oh. Yes. So the web harvest will not only be web-based, it will be Android, iOS, so you're going multi-channel, basically. Exactly. Multi-distribution. So you're telling somebody that you don't have to be next to a desktop. You can even get access our products via your phone, because most people are always in the phone. Right now, that's the new way. That's it. That's where data is telling us. People can't cross the road. You've got to find ways of buzzing in their ear. Exactly. Otherwise, they'll get run over. That's the new era that we're going to. It's the digital age. So we're telling somebody you can also get it on your phone. And now that internet speeds are also helping us, then even the harvest will also benefit from there.
You know, I met a very interesting philosopher, and he told me, Ali Khan, you know, the most valuable currency is not what's in your pocket. He said it's actually information.
True, very much.
And I remember, and then we were talking, he said, you know, Ali Khan, I can meet somebody who's got $1 million in their pocket, he said, but they don't know what is going on. I said, I can meet somebody with $1 with a brain and the information. And he said, I want to bet on that $1 guy, because he'll make more money. Exactly. He'll or she. I'm not sexist. I've got women all around me, 3 daughters. But nice. So you know, and then that got me thinking about something else. When we were young, data science was not a career.
It was not. And right now, this is where we're heading to, the big data.
Well, so when I was thinking about it, somebody said to me, what would you tell your child to do now? I would say, forget anything, go for data science, because the demand is going to be infinite. Yes. Is it, have you got people who understand data science? Are we producing people that understand this?
I would say right now, as of now, this is when we're now trying to
grow that.
Because I think we have seen the need to understand data, first example, big data is coming.
Yes. Has it come in some cases?
I would say maybe some markets, some
Yes.
industries, but not
Something
everywhere.
like Fuliza must be big data driven, right?
Yes, right now, for you to create such a product,
Yeah.
it must be due to big data. You must have understood that data first. You first structure that data, then make sense of it.
Yes.
So there must be a data science somewhere who now did the insights, did
Yeah.
all the and said there's a market here,
Yes,
and you can now see how what Safaricom is reaping benefits from that.
that's right.
So there's actually a big market when you talk about data science and big data and machine learning and deep learning. And just as you're saying, you'll advise your daughters, I will also advise anyone right now, that's the way to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems to me that's the future. And when I look at massive value creation in the financial markets, it's data driven, right?
data.
Uber is about data.
It's data.
Right? If you look at all these big Alibabas and everything, it's been the
data.
ability to understand data at a mass scale. But is there a challenge with data in the sense that we're giving up too much information of ours? You know, they don't seem to be proper regulations. Every time the government wants us to give us all their details, what are they doing with those details?
We give them. That's why even the European market came up with GDPR.
Yes, yes.
So that at least tell me what you're going to do with my data.
Yes.
First tell me, because they saw people would give anything to get a service. So somebody come in and say, for you to access this, give me access to this, this, and this.
But that's Google business, right?
But you see, that's how they do. So they will come that data,
Yeah.
take it to Facebook.
Yes.
So when I'm browsing for a shoe,
Yes.
the next advert I will see is shoe polish.
Yes.
How did they know?
Yeah.
So that's somebody who has now sat down and
is understanding your habits.
Yes.
Yes.
So I would say yes, we're having a problem on what data we give out, because
Yeah.
this is something we can make money out of. I will say no. If you're going to take my data and sell it to somebody, don't you think I also need to get a value for that?
Yes.
I also need I myself as the carrier of that data. I myself who is.
But that's why a lot of people lost faith in Facebook, right?
Very much.
Because this was the problem. They were hawking our data.
Yes.
And
they're reaping benefits, and I am just there.
Yes.
They're getting nothing.
Maybe there's a new model for that, right? That you actually share whatever benefit. You say to somebody, I will use your data,
Yes.
but you will get a percentage of it. And you do it that way, it's much fairer.
It's better, because if you're telling me you're reaping benefits, you're making billions from just data that you collected free of charge, don't you think I, as the carrier, should also get a small percentage? Yeah, and I think that's something even us ourselves we consider. Especially, I would even say some of these mobile apps that we download just without.
Yes. Somebody was telling me, says they're taking all kinds of information off you.
Exactly, because I've told you I've studied a bit of data science, and I've done some developments in regards to some of these apps. The term of access, they tell you download an app, then access, give me access to this. Those access, be careful what they're asking, because why would you download a very simple app, but it's give me access to your messages?
Yes.
What for?
Yeah.
Why would you need access to my messages?
Exactly.
Why would you need access to my contacts?
Yeah.
So you find this guy is just mining data. It reaches a point where this guy can describe you, who Ali Khan is.
Yes.
Can describe what Ali Khan will do.
Yeah.
What Ali Khan buys.
Yes.
At what time does he buy.
Yes.
So he can even come and provide for you a product based
on that history.
And you see that's data they will just compile and go and sell to somebody.
So besides yourself, obviously, because you're at the cutting edge of data, which other companies do you feel in Kenya are exploiting the data opportunity effectively? Who stands out? You go, whoa, hang on. Anyone?
I would say Safaricom.
Yeah.
Safaricom, I would first commend their research and development, the innovation department. They really have, for you to be in existence from 2000, but to be competing for all those number of years.
Yes, and effectively.
And to still have a market share.
Yes.
That, as much as we normally don't like saying this, but Safaricom is more expensive when it comes to calling and data.
That's right.
Than the other telcos. But why are we still?
Because I get my thing in 2 seconds if I need it.
Because if I need an M-Pesa shop, I will still go just down here and find something.
That was another thing. They had the distribution. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
So you find Safaricom have been able to understand the market and give it what it wants. So you find even if these guys are costly, they are efficient.
Yeah.
I will go to where I will still find network. I will go where I will do. Look at Fuliza now has now come. They have partnered with banks. Banks had a problem with liquidity. They had too much liquidity. They didn't know where to take it. Safaricom comes to them and tells them, hey, I have this bunch of people. I can do this and this. Give me money.
Yeah.
And now you see they're
It's,
reaping.
it's incredible.
It's
I mean, the speed, it's like a hockey stick for
Yes.
them, right? You got 30 million subscribers, you convert a portion, and you got to...
And you're just making money.
And just to give you a flavor, you know, the success you're describing is seen in the share price,
Yes.
which during the time of Colimo has gone up 10 times,
Wow.
which is just unbelievable. It's really a tremendous performance, and I think it speaks to exactly what you're speaking about. But also, if you look back at their decisions, they bet on all of us. They always knew that if they got the right product in our
Yes,
phone,
very much.
we'd consume it. And even when Airtel tried to compete on price, people didn't move.
And see, that's where people get it wrong. You see, it reaches in such an era where now, say, Kenya we are right now, it's not just a matter of competing with price. It's a matter of what benefit you're giving me. Because if you're giving me such a good benefit that I don't consider price,
Yeah.
I will not consider price.
So are we price sensitive as consumers or not?
It depends I would say it depends with the market, because some areas, for example, we see we are we'll say middle income country.
Yes.
So it reaches a point also price also matters when you talk about certain commodities. But I would say this: if you have a monopolistic market where you find somebody so ahead, such a way that he can still charge something, but he knows he's ahead.
Yes.
And he knows the products and the services he gives you, you cannot move.
Yeah.
Then price doesn't matter to some industry. And that's what we see in the telcos.
That's very interesting, and that's why, of course, they've succeeded where others have failed.
Yes, and they will continue to succeed if they still continue with the same strategies.
Yeah. I saw this article in The Economist saying that, you know, data is the new oil.
Yes.
Is it?
I would say yes, because, for example, I would say, like, for example, the what you have now in the harvest, for example, our sector reports, our industry reports.
Yes.
You see, we tell you how the industry has came up, who are the participants, what are the strategies they're doing, the barriers to entry, the mobility barriers. For example, if you want to move to another industry, how they're performing.
You're giving that degree of detail.
Yes, we're giving you that degree of detail. You're also telling you the trends that are in that industry. You're also forecasting what will happen. Then you're looking at the macroeconomic factors. So you find we are basing all that by data. There's no need of economic noise. You know, you're always used to economic noise where somebody just says something, then we all follow that. So somebody will say, I invest in this thing. We all follow that.
Yes.
But right now, yes, exactly. So right now we are data driven. We tell you this is what data is telling us. This is what we based on that data, this is what we forecast. So follow the data. This we say data can never go wrong.
Yes.
As long as everything is ceteris paribus, as long as everything remains constant, nothing can always go wrong.
So we're looking forward to leveraging off your harvest terminal.
Yes.
Making ourselves and our viewers good money on the basis of intelligence that we gain from you.
Yes.
You know, my final thought is that Africa has been renowned for being an asymmetric information place, right? Information does not flow. People over there don't know what's happening over here. Do you think that's going to change?
Actually, even part of what the harvest is trying to do is bridge that gap.
Yes.
We're telling you that there's so much information here, and the person who may want to use it is here, but we as harvest come here between. We tell you, we will give you this information to you. So it's now upon you to now make the decision. Because we find performances of, for example, certain industries, certain sectors, people don't know how it's performing. You find that gap is a very big gap. I would say we are trying to do that. It's a challenge. That's what we actually took a bit time to think about this. And as Africa, I would say it's data. We see as long as data is the new thing, and now data science is coming up, and now people are now understanding the need to base decisions on data, then this gap will now close and it will shorten down.
So we really look forward to working with you for producing ideas and strategies that people can utilize. And I expect you to be a regular guest on our show to tell us, hey, have you looked at this? Camel milk.
Yes.
We could sell it for $3 a litre somewhere. We can get it for 100 and all this kind of thing. And I think what you're talking about is making our economy more efficient.
Yes, very much. Very much, yes. That's our end goal, to ensure.
A lot of people have made a lot of money from inefficiency.
So we try
You're going to break that.
We want to break that.
Yeah.
We want to break that.
And we really look forward to that day.
Thank you very much.
And I really appreciate you coming on today's show.
And thank you for the invite.
It's
I
a
also,
pleasure.
if you want to invite me again,
Yes.
I have no problem. I am always available.
Next time we want you here with the terminal.
Thank you. You'll
Please.
see it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very
And
much.
best of luck with harvest. I love the name.
Thank you. We want to make everyone harvesters.
That's right.
Yes.
And we all want that.
Yes.
Thank you.